Hello everyone and welcome to foreign language class. It's a general English lesson about English idioms, about the idioms presented here. We have 10 idioms. They describe our lifestyle or some situations of difficulties and hardships. And I would like to give you some explanations and examples of these idioms. So let's get started. Okay, the first idiom is to keep up appearances, means that when you have troubles, difficulties, but you you create image of success or well-being, so that nobody could ever think that you have problems. So, despite having problems, try to maintain a good, successful image. For example, he was keeping up appearances despite having all these troubles with his business. Okay, the next one is to live out of suitcase is a situation when you travel a lot and you cannot stay in a particular place, in one place for a long period of time, so your life is limited, is restricted only to content of your suitcase. So you travel, for example, you have many business trips. For example, your job involves many business trips and you normally leave out a suitcase. For example, she had a very hard work. She had to work against the clock and she had to leave out a suitcase, means that she almost never unpacked her own suitcase completely. Okay? The next is School of Hard Knocks. It's not school as a, like, for example, it's not a college, a university or high school. Its meaning is illiterate. I mean, for example, it's a situation when you go through a situation and get some life experience, when you go through hardships, problems, difficulties, and you get your own experience how to deal with complicated situations. It's a school of life, let's call it that way. So, for example, sentence is the only school he ever attended was the School of Hard Knocks, meaning that he had never gone to general school, general education school, university, or colleges. All his experience and knowledge he has is from School of Hard Knocks. All this experience and knowledge he obtained through life experience. Okay? So the next one, can of worms. It's a situation, for example, when you open can of worm or open up a can of worms, meaning that you for example, you start doing a thing, and this thing opens a can of worms, means that starting doing a particular thing, you're starting to have more and more problems. The situation get worse and worse. So this can of worms, something unpleasant. Okay? So for example, this project was, okay, now, this investigation opened up a can of worms. Meaning that there was some simple case, maybe a simple crime or legal action, and as the inspector investigated it, he or she, new things, worse, terrible things come up. Okay, the next, Catch-22, is actually, there's a book, Catch-22, and the situation, Catch-22 describes a situation when in order to do something, you have to do another thing. But in order to do this another thing, you have to do this thing. For example, let me give you an example. For example, in order to get a job, I first have to have a house, I have to have an apartment, but in order to have an apartment, in order to pay for the apartment, I have to have a job. So it's a kind of a vicious cycle. So another synonym for this situation is a vicious cycle. when you cannot solve a problem, because in order to solve it, you need to solve another problem. But this another problem can only be solved when you solve the first one. So it's a situation which you cannot resolve at all. The next, crux of the matter, means the very central point, the crucial point, the heart of a problem or a matter. For example, the crux of a matter is that he's too young to get married. So means the real point, the real problem of the whole situation is that a person is too young to do something. To get married, to have driver's license, to drive a car, or to have children. Okay? So crux of the matter means the very central point of something. The next one, dead man walking, is a person who will soon, who is about to have a very big problems because of his behavior or because of the situation, the current situation. For example, because of his performance, because of his academic performance, he is now a dead man walking. Means that because of his academic performance, let's say at school, because of his bad academic performance at school, he may soon be expelled. So now he's a dead man walking. So he's about to have a big problem, to be in a big trouble. The next one, go haywire. Haywire, it's a wire to bundle hay. It's usually hard to handle. So go higher it means to go disorganized or start functioning in an inappropriate way. For example, if let's say the fax machine went haywire, means that fax machines is not working properly right now. Okay. The next one, hang out to dry, means to leave a person or abandon a person in a very hard, difficult situation. For example, having left, he hang us out to dry means that because somebody left and abandoning people, a group of people in a hard situation, and this somebody didn't want to participate in solving this situation, didn't want to do anything to solve the situation, didn't want to help to solve the situation, so he just left and hanged him out to dry. So it's you usually hang out to dry clothes. After doing washing, you hang out to dry, and here the meaning of this is to leave somebody with the problems unsolved, okay, without participating in solving this problem. And the last one, last resort. Last resort means something, a thing that you will do the last in a very desperate situation when you don't have any other solutions, any other options, any other ways. So, for example, I haven't booked the train ticket, so I may go by car as a last resort. So it's the last. So in case of emergency, for example, when you're desperate and you have no other ways, no other options, you do the thing which is your last resort. Or for example, you can call me only as a last resort. So I am meaning that I'm the last person you're calling, and if you have difficulties. So if you have a problem, call someone else. But if there's nobody who can help you in solving this problem, call me as a last resort. Okay. So I just described you 10 idioms about present lifestyle or some difficult situation. So you may use these idioms, for example, in the IELTS test or the TOEFL test, or in your everyday life if you wish. So okay, that's the end of this lesson, the end of the video. If you have any questions, comments, don't hesitate. Feel free to contact us. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.